Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out the podcast below in the description. Do it right now.
All right, the report as of this time is that Marcus Mariota has declined the Raiders' invitation to take a $7 million pay cut and accept a $3 million salary. And I think the latest from Rap Sheet is we're waiting for him to get cut, released. Weird situation.
I've never made $3 million in a year, but I wonder if you're like, well, you can guarantee yourself $3 million. It's easy to say like on the outside, but then if you think about, well, if I was making 7 last year and I was scheduled to make 10, no, I'm not going to take a $7 million pay cut. Especially if your agent, I think it's fair to say his agent has to be telling him, I can get you more than this $3 million in the open market. Because if his agent did not say that, it would not be good business to do this. They have now, though, had a history, the last 3 players, of trying to squeeze them out of money, starting with Gabe Jackson to take a big pay cut. Rodney Hudson had some issues with payments. And now the Mariota. The Mariota feels the most tangible of like going from 10 to 3 feels like a precipitous drop. If you're Mariota, number 2 pick in the draft, you finally leave the Titans, you get 7.5. Like that's no. My first reaction if I was him because again, money's all relative. He's used to making X to go to that. Like, no, screw you. Also think when you see some teams talk about giving guys pay cuts, a reason a lot of guys I think capitulate is because the reason they pay their agent is to know the market, and they go, listen, I don't think you'll get more than this. If you feel comfortable there, stay. If you're going to keep playing. This one feels a little bit like, honestly, from the outside, feels like he's getting fucked a little bit from the sense of if they had released him once he says, because this has been going on now a while. We had talked about Mariota for months. He's going to get traded. Where's he going to play? The Washington, the Bears. No team trades for him. And then Florio's broken down. His contract is a little complicated once you get him. It's really a lot more than 10 once he became the starter. There's some other kickers and some cash. But if you're not going to keep him on your roster, the right thing to do, and listen, it's a business, but like once you can't come to terms, and clearly they haven't been on the same page for a week, is to release him so he can hit the market with Fitzpatrick, Trubisky, and all these guys and just see where I land, right?
Yeah.
See what my market is.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I see the Raiders squeezing guys, and ultimately Rodney and Gabe didn't get squeezed because they got traded. And the trade thing with Mariota is complicated with the money. And clearly I don't think he's going to make $10 million. But what the Raiders are doing to him feels very kind of, again, low level and just inconsistent and kind of bad business to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, so there's a few things here. I do wonder if, because there were trade discussions, does his agent have a particular team in mind and know that that team not only would pay him, but still has a spot available for him and would pay him, somewhere in the realm. I don't, given what you just said, I don't.
If I told you the 49ers signed him for $3 million as Jimmy's backup / contingency plan for other stuff, I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think so either. I think the 49ers would make some sense. But I also.
What if I told you 5? Do you think 5's a lot too much?
I can't pay Marcus Mariota 5 when Mitchell Trubisky's making 2.5. Now maybe you think,
but Dalton's making 10.5.
Yeah, but Dalton's a starter
for now.
Yeah, but I mean they are entering the season with him as the starting quarterback,
unless they get a rookie.
Sure, but they just signed him under the pretense like this is a starting quarterback contract that we're signing here.
Yeah, and
like if you're Dalton's agent.
He spoke today. He was told he's a starting quarterback.
Yep. And so
same with probably Fitzmagic.
I would like Mariota for the right price. If I were the Raiders, I wouldn't have paid him $10 million either to be my backup. But I think where Mariota would say to you, Guy, you said the backup. Mariota was a backup last year and got 7.5. Sure, there's no question. So take one for the team, but
and
they would argue, well, you're not going to get 7 anywhere else.
Well, that's fine, but I would feel that Mariota. Maybe I'm a Mariota apologist, even though I'm not even that big of a fan of the guy, as like a true like starting quarterback. It feels like he's going to get more than 2.5, but maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Maybe he will. I don't think much more, but I think it's also possible that that he doesn't necessarily need to make as much as the Raiders were offering to make it worth his time, for a couple of reasons. One, maybe he didn't like it. Maybe he didn't like it there. Maybe he wants to be on another team.
Yeah.
2,
feels. I mean, Raider fans be like, It feels like kind of a consistency of these guys,
I'm
right?
wearing black today, so pro Raiders. Number 2, he did play last year, but by and large, Derek's pretty durable. Like, if you want a chance to, like, play 5 games or something, the Raiders are not the team to play for. By and large, Derek's a durable quarterback, right? Now, he has been hurt. It's not like he plays 16 games a year.
Hurt his back, I think Gruden's first year. Remember the dude from Florida State, A.J. Manuel, played a game.
We had McGloin.
Yeah, and then this year had the, what.
Yeah. But there's definitely no question about who the
I can't say
quarterback
it. That's why I don't say the injury.
The groin. Oh, the groin, yeah. But Derek's certainly not getting benched. Like, you might be better off making $2.5 million. Hell, playing for the Bears. The problem is they got Foles. But
there ain't a soul alive that thinks Mariota's better than Derek.
Yeah. So he might be better off on the Dolphins, right? He might be better off on a team that there is some question about how good their quarterback is. He might be better off on the Lions. I don't know. Might be better off on the Niners if Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback. I'm not saying he'd beat him out, but I'm just saying Jimmy's been hurt. So I think there are better situations for him, even for equal money. And yeah, he might get a little more. He might get a little more. I'm not convinced he'd get much. Your point is, you have a different point initially, which is,
well, you gotta make a decision.
Good
guys.
business to do this on Sunday and let him be a free agent quarterback. Which, by the way, would not prevent him from re-signing with you if no one's paying him $1 million.
No, and if he doesn't not like you, and he's on good terms, maybe he would come back. Richie Incognito came back, even though Richie Incognito and John Gruden are the ultimate match made in football heaven. I just think I do not like, and I tend to be more pro team, pro management. I don't like doing business like this. Not with a guy who, from all accounts, did everything right, who you signed to a contract. And if he doesn't want to take the contract, it happens all the time. I would say, too, it's pretty consistent in the NFL that teams go, listen, we can't keep you at this number. Will you take X? And often the guy says no, and pretty consistently that guy is cut if no one's willing to trade for him. It's just simple. It ends it, and you both go your separate ways. But it feels like Gruden – it honestly kind of feels like it's personal. Like, we helped resurrect you. And resurrect's the wrong word because I don't even know if he has been resurrected. We threw you this line last year for money when no one else would, and we want you to now do us a favor. And that's not the way the world works.
No, you pay me my responsibility. You pay me my worth.
Yeah, and I showed up every day. I was there when my number was called. Just the one moment in the Thursday night game or whenever that. I guess it would have been I don't even remember. Yeah, it was Thursday night against the Chargers. Because Derek came back. He remember part of it's like, is he going to miss the rest of the season? He came right back the next week on 10 days rest. But I just there's a pretty consistent theme now of Gruden, right? It's just not they feel. I saw Coward mention this today. He's like called him a circus, and for a little bit, right, with Del Rio came and they just started feeling a little bit more of a stable organization. Even once they signed John, it was like, oh God, they're headed in the right direction. They feel circusy again, and circusy organizations do circusy shit. That this league, like, I just don't think this is the way you want to conduct business because the majority of players aren't the guys you're giving huge money to. It's Mariota's. It's $5, $6, $7, $8 million players. They're the type guys that you need, right? And I don't love Gruden being in charge of personnel, and clearly, like, I just don't feel this is Mayock. I can't because I can't feel Mayock's operating like this.
No, that's a good point. I don't think he would either. By and large, players will sign where the most money is. But that's not 100% of the time. Sometimes money's close. Sometimes they want to be with you or they don't.
I think a lot of times money's close, guy, and I'm just determining if both teams are offering me 4 to 5 and one's a little tax and the number's about to be the same, I choose where I think I'm going to have the most success or more where I'm most comfortable.
Well, I mean,
I think we'll talk about a player that had the opportunity that chose different.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Kyle Long.